sorry. I went to my eye doctor this week and I told him the eye chart's never going to get old as we talk about 2020 vision. And so welcome to tonight's 2020 vision, which focuses on two Senate Democrats who may want to move from Capitol Hill to the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue. It's Ohio's Sherrod Brown and Oregon's Jeff Merkley. Brown, 8 days after his re-election victory and 2 days after his wife tweeted that he's thinking about running for president. Well, he weighed in on the Georgia governor's race.
If Stacey Abrams doesn't win in Georgia, they stole it. It's clear. It's clear. And I say that publicly, it's clear. That's what they do. They can't win elections because there's way more of us than there are them. They can't win elections fairly. They win elections by redistricting and reapportionment and voter suppression in all the ways they try to scare people, particularly people of color.
It's a strong accusation. Stole, just as we're dealing with all the rhetoric that the president's throwing in there about fraud. Is this the time to use the S word? Anyway, perhaps it's no coincidence that Brown spoke about an election mired in controversy over allegations of suppressing minority voters, and that he spoke at a conference hosted by the National Action Network, a civil rights organization. Could be an attempt to reach out to minority voters whose support he would need in a 2020 bid. As for Brown's Senate colleague, Jeff Merkley of Oregon, he appears to be trying to ensure he still has a job in Washington if he runs and fails to win the presidency. According to the Willamette Week, he's quietly urging state lawmakers to change a state law that would force him to give up his Senate seat if he were to run for president. New Jersey approved a similar request earlier this year by Senator Cory Booker, another potential 2020 candidate. We used to call this the LBJ law. I guess LBJ's been too far away. Now we just call it that law. We'll be back with more MTP Daily right after this. Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Beat the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.